Hi, I'm Nick, CEO of the Busking project. I assume that 5 of the most important criteria to consider when giving arts grants are the venue, the audience, the performers, the middlemen, and the money. And I'd argue that on all 5 of those points, you couldn't get better than street performance. Venues of all kinds can be somewhat exclusive, either because of high costs, perceived elitism, or just a lack of wheelchair access. But as street performers do their shows in the heart of our city centres, their venue could not be more welcoming or accessible. As a result, the audiences at street shows are comprised of the entire cross-section of society. Tourists, immigrants, commuters, homeless people, kids of all ages, and everyone else. The buskers also come from all walks of life, from middle-class theatre grads and passionate virtuosos to ex-cons, people with disabilities, or people who are down on their luck. In other words, the art is both consumed and created by people from all age groups, ethnicities, and economic backgrounds. You probably support the arts to support artists. And because street performers tend not to have managers, ticket offices, venue fees, agents, or producers, there are no middlemen, so the performers take home 100% of the money donated in the street. This has the lovely consequence that despite being entirely funded by voluntary donations, the artists still manage to get by. That's even more inspiring when you consider that those who can afford to tip at the end of a show are subsidizing those who can't. By any metric you look at, when considering what street performers do, be it their accessibility, audience diversity, or affordability, buskers should be lauded as cultural heroes, be put on honors lists and given knighthoods for services to the arts. You think that view is extreme? Here's what I think is extreme. At best, buskers are regarded as failed artists, and at worst as opportunistic tax cheats. They're routinely fined and arrested, and are currently experiencing a massive increase in anti-busking legislation all over the UK. Now, we've been helping buskers get hired for events of all kinds and enabling them to get paid in a world where people have stopped carrying cash. But as a small team with a tiny budget, there's only so much we can do. That's why we're creating a crowdsourced living archive that will help buskers put together legal defenses, fundraise for campaigns, meet each other, and even help explain to their parents what they're doing with their lives. The archive will dispel myths, educate journalists, provide resources for academic researchers, and show counsellors and business improvement managers why they might not want to ban busking. We are partnering with various groups to ensure that this project is as effective as possible. Buskers Advocates, Keep Streets Live, Lead A, the Manifesto Club, the National Association of Street Artists, and the 6,000 performers who've already registered on our website, among others. Outdoors, away from our screens, among our fellow citizens, we have access to some of the finest, funniest, and hardest working artists in the world. Unfortunately, a triad of technological, public, and private interests are combining to make this culturally important 4,000-year-old tradition a thing of the past. I'd like you to imagine what the world would be like without them, and then I'd like you to remember that thought when considering our bid for funding. Thanks.